Hey everyone, I'm Simran, developer advocate at OpenObserve. Today we are talking about a super handy feature in OpenObserve that is the report server. And we'll discuss how it helps you to stay on top of your observability data without even logging in. So let's start with the problem statement to understand its usefulness. Dashboards are great for real time observability, like perfect for engineers watching metrics live. But let's be honest, most stakeholders, managers, or the compliance teams, they don't log into OpenObserve every day. They still need visibility. They need reports, they need audit trials to understand what's happening across the system. That's exactly where the OpenObserve report server comes in. It automatically converts your dashboards into PDF reports and it delivers them straight to your inbox. Now let's understand how this report server basically works. So this report server, it's an OpenObserve service. What it does is it logs into your OpenObserve UI using the credentials you provide, of course, and it loads the dashboard or whatever the charts are via the Chromium in headless mode. And it renders them into PDFs or images and send them via SMTP. So it basically exposes an HTTP API for OpenObserve to trigger the report jobs. So whenever OpenObserve want to generate a scheduled report, it just talks to the report server via HTTP. We have covered a lot of theory now. Let's get straight on with the demo. So all you need for this demo is Docker installed. You need to have your ports open wherever you want to run OpenObserve and the report server. And you also need SMTP credentials. It's as a part of this demo, we'll be using Gmail as an example. So the first step is to get your Gmail app password. So if you are using Gmail, so basically you can't use your normal password. So you need to access your Google account, go into security section, and here you'll see if you need to enable the two-step verification if not already. And once you enable it, you will see the app password thing. So this is app password I have already created too. So I'll create a new one. So let's name it report server demo. When you hit the create button, you'll get a 16 character password. This is your app password. You need to keep copy it and you will be pasting it as an environment variables will be. And yeah, you don't need to replace the space with the dashes. Keep it as it is. Just copy it and done. So let's start by creating a Docker network where we'll be running the two containers. One OpenObserve container and other is a report server container. We'll be attaching a blog link. You can just follow those steps. The commands, you'll find it there. So this is the Docker command we'll be running. It basically runs a container with the name OpenObserve, and under the network, whatever we have created recently, we define where our data folder will be, like where is the data directory, where we are mapping the data directory. And then we also define the root user email, the root user password, which is used for logging into the OpenObserve UI. And we also define where our report server will be running, because I'll be running a container named report server, and that will be running on port 5090. So I've already defined it. I can update the environment variables when I want. And then we also define the web URL, which is OpenObserve's UI, OpenObserve's URL basically. The Chromium will be using it and logging in so that it can get access to the PDFs, or not the PDFs, basically it can get access to the dashboards. Our OpenObserve is running inside a Docker container, so we need to do the port forwarding. And this is the enterprise image which we want to run the OpenObserve container. So we have our OpenObserve container running. Now if I check Docker PS, you'll see this started this is created 9 seconds ago, and the port forwarding is done, and the name of the container is OpenObserve. So this is great. And then we have to run the report server. So here's the command for it. And let me update the network here. Okay, so cool. And so here also we are creating our container, but with a different name, that is report server. And within the same network, we are doing port forwarding for 5090. And then we also define the user email and user password. This will be same as OpenObserve's username and password, because these are the credentials which Chromium would use to log into it. And then we have We define the HTTP address, HTTP port. Then we also provide in the SMTP port host because we are using Gmail. So the host is smtp.gmail.com. Then the port is 465. These are the default things. And then I'll update the username and the password. The encryption is SSL TLS. So you'll find the description of all these environment variables in the report server repo, which I'll be adding in the description. And we want to set Chromium Sandbox to true. You also need to have Chromium installed because it will look for Chromium in the default path. If it's not installed, you need to define the path as well. And this is the report server image which we want to use. So yeah, we have this report server running. Let's check if it's running or not. So it has started 6 seconds ago and the port forwarding is done. Let me check Docker logs for the report server. So this says that it has started and it is serving at 5090, so it's all good. We are ready to make use of it. You can access the OpenObserve server running at 5080. You can use your root credentials to log into this OpenObserve UI. And these data are, because I mounted my OpenObserve server, I ran OpenObserve before and I created a data folder and I mounted the same data folder to this particular container so I can access my previous data. But if you have created a new, like mounting new data folder, then you won't get this data. So let's go to the data sources page. Here we have so let's just copy this. So we need to ingest in some data. If we check our streams, we have this default stream which has no past event, and let's just insert some entry so that we have a data out of which we can create a dashboard and then reports, all of those. Let's just clear this tab. Okay. So this one entry is successful. Let me just give in a couple of entries. I can run a script for it as well, but let's just a couple of entries would do here. So let's create a dashboard. We'll be creating a new dashboard. Let's give a name, report demo. We can give a description or keep it empty. It is like an optional thing. I just created and I need to add in some panels here. Maybe a line chart where we add in the timestamp and we add in the maybe count of level. Okay, in the config, we can just connect all the null values so that we have a better view of things. Let's save this. Okay, let me define a panel name. For now, I'm keeping it as panel 1. Save it. So let's quickly create one more panel so that we have decent number of data. We don't want any histogram. We want level and the count of level. So this, and we can create our own chart. So there are like 5 entries around info and 3 entries with level error. So let's give this name panel 2 and save it. So this is what our dashboard looks like, and we want this dashboard to be served to us, like to be in our inbox maybe every day or maybe every week, every month, any customization we can do. So now here's the fun part. So once we have this dashboard ready, what we can do is we can go to this report section. Okay. So here we'll add a new report. Let's give it a name, demo. We need to select the dashboard which we want to show. And the dashboard name is, we have only one dashboard created, that is report demo, so that we can select a dashboard tab. So if we come back to the dashboard, here is one default tab and we can create a number of tabs, and we need to choose, like, one report can have only one dashboard tab because it's taking a snapshot of this page. So we select the dashboard tab and time range, like for whatever data we want to filter, like current it's 5 minutes, we can filter it for past 30 minutes. So here let it be for past 30 minutes. We don't have any variables, so let's continue. So here you can decide how frequently you want to receive the dashboards. So it can be once, which we can do it now. It can be hourly, it can be weekly. You can also define a cron job. So let's do it the cron job way so that it delivers every second. Okay. And then, okay. and then a title which will be receiving in the inbox. So this is a demo for the report. So I can add in as many recipients I want separated by commas, and I can also provide in the message which I want to deliver. Dummy message. So you'll also receive the dashboard URL in your inbox apart from the PDF or image you want. So this report is saved successfully, and let's see like how when it's last triggered and when the things go. Let's check the Docker logs. Okay, so here what happened is it was running for every second. Now it basically launched the browser for that particular dashboard, and this is the dashboard ID. Once the browser was launched, it particularly navigated to the given URL and it logged in using the credentials provided. In that moment, the headless Chromium, it created a new page, it filled in the email and the password, and it basically navigated to the particular dashboard and it waited for the dashboard data to load. And once all the panel data is loaded, it just logged in, okay, how much time it took, and then it triggered an email, and email was successfully sent to the for the report demo. So it repeated the step because it's repeating, like it's running every 1 second. So it's just repeating the step. Let's just refresh this page and you will see that this was last triggered at this point. So let's see if we have received this report in our inbox. I received this email, and in this email there is a data that like there is a text body. There is a link to the dashboard which I can open. There is a PDF. So you have your setup ready. You have a report server running, which is triggering reports to which is basically sending reports to your inbox. Thank you for watching. You can drop your questions in the comments below and check the description for more resources.